We're here with Scott Williams today, guitarist from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, going through his guitar picks. Okay, Blue Smoke, Merle, Travis.
That's just more of that finger-picking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, Lord, that song, it's just a freewheeling thing. The version that I've got, actually, I've got a couple of versions on CD, but one that he done on electric guitar, he's just, I can just envision in my mind's eye a freight train careening down a mountain track out of control, just the way he's just carrying it on, And there's no way I can do that one either. But it's just that's just another one of those things that I wish I could play. And after all these years, I don't think it's ever going to happen. And I maybe resign myself to it. But I do throw in some of Merle's style in a lot of what the band does. We do a version of Wildwood Flower that I'll throw in a little Travis picking.
Mm-hmm.
Windy and Warm,
mm-hmm.
that Doc Watson, I think he had the more popularity with it. Other people have recorded it, but he done it too. It's in the Travis Adkins style, it's just kind of a... kind of stuff I play around the house as much as anything.
We're here with Scott Williams today, guitarist from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, going through his guitar picks. A Little Wild One, Marshall Crenshaw.
Marshall Crenshaw. I played in a band that opened for him back in the mid-'80s.
Mm-hmm.
And just an incredible songwriter. He's one of those that his records... Most times he was doing a lot of his own lead work, especially the early stuff. I remember the first time I heard Someday, Someway, which I think was his only hit. It don't have a solo in it anywhere, but the guitar in it's great. I can't stand to see you sad. I can't bear to hear you cry. You can't give me what you need. All I can do is wonder why. And I don't remember all the words to it, but his stuff is not really guitar heavy. It's just... He'll use some interesting chord progressions. He's another one of those tremendous songwriters, which I'm not a technical musician by any stretch of the word. I'm an ear musician. I don't read sheet music very well at all. And I've never took lessons, which is wildly obvious. I taught myself. A friend of mine in high school taught me my first couple of chords.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went and bought a guitar book, it showed me chords, and I just took it from there, and along with that little chord book was one of those little flimsy records that had the notes that you tune your guitar to. You put it on the turntable, and it'd give you 60 seconds or so of your low E string, and I'd do that with the record player, and then it's ready to move on to the A, and I'm still not tuned to the E yet, Wait a minute, I'm not done, Next thing you know, I was playing along with records, and I think that's why I gravitated towards some of the early rock and roll and the country music, because a lot of it was, just 3-chord things, maybe a 4th chord in here for good measure here and there, Wasn't real hard stuff right. As far as learning to play rhythm to.
Yeah.
All I had at home was an acoustic guitar. A lot of these other guys I'm talking about that I was in high school with and whatever, they had electric guitars.
Mm-hmm.
I just had an acoustic, and I'm thinking, well, I can't make my acoustic guitar. I can't do Leonard Skinner on that. I can't do ZZ Top. They were big then too.
Mm-hmm.
But I could strum along to Mama's had a Buddy Holly album, and I could strum along with that. Nothing fancy there.
But it sounds like one of your goals is really to capture the spirit of any of these songs.
Yeah, the spirit and energy, more so than guitar parts, because with the Silvertones, I'm the only guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
We've just got 4 pieces: bass, drums, piano, and then me. I try to put a little energy into the show. Our bass player does one. No set order, just whatever we feel like doing at that time.
Go for it and read the crowd.
Absolutely. If the crowd wants a certain type of song, we'll throw more of that out. Whatever keeps them on the floor. Whatever keeps the crowd happy, because if they ain't there, we don't make no money.
We're here with Scott Williams today, guitarist from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, going through his guitar picks. Too Much, Elvis Presley, Scotty Moore, lead guitarist.
Ah, yes, Scotty, one more time. Like I say, he was the catalyst for me picking up the guitar in the first place. Mm-hmm. That guitar solo, it's hilarious. The main thing I really like about that song is the his tone. Again, I come back to his tone more so than anything, because the tape that they kept and released as a single that went on to be a hit. I read Scotty Moore's biography. It was the one take that he totally blew the guitar solo. He got so lost, but kept right on playing, and played himself out on a limb, but ended up bringing himself back in. And I mean, it just sounds so hilarious, and that's one of those I can't emulate either, because I don't think he ever done it again. I mean, his tone was outstanding. Scotty's use, and probably the studio's use, which a lot of the stuff back during that period, they were using a lot of echo. I think that was before they started using reverb a whole lot. They were still using echo, and to me, that gives it a really live sound. Mm-hmm. It almost sounds like some of Ray Price's country material back in the 50s. Has that echo thing going, and I can think of a song I hear on the radio every now and then called "Pick Me Up on Your Way Down" by Charlie Walker, I think it was. It sounds like it was recorded in a bar, in a nightclub. I mean, it's got that echo going, but the echo is timed perfectly with the tempo of the song. And it just sounds so cool, because it's got that, I can probably demonstrate it on here, actually. You can hear the drummer hit the snare, and then you hear the echo behind it perfectly in tempo. And it just, to me, that just sounds like, I don't know if they planned it that way or not, but it really come out so cool. And the interplay with Elvis's singing, which I'll always say Elvis had the finest recorded voice. There might be a better singer out there, he just ain't been recorded yet, I don't think. And his background group, the Jordanaires, they were doing the background vocals, and there's just good interplay between them, between the whole band. I mean, the whole band production they sound so tight. And then, like I say, Scotty's, the work he done on the guitar, even with the emerging into outer space solo that he come up with, it's another one of those timeless things. I mean, it's almost 50 years old, and it just still, I can listen to it like a lot of Johnny Cash's things, and talk about raw, rudimentary stuff, very stark and primitive. But Johnny Cash, and I didn't have him on my list.
Yeah,
most any of his things, because his songwriting was so strong. The words to his songs and his voice, his interpretation. There's no voice like his out there. He didn't need a strong guitar presence on his stuff, because the songs stood on their own.
We're here with Scott Williams today, guitarist from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, going through his guitar picks. Indian Summer, Poco.
I actually first heard it on a country radio station back in the 80s. And it was recorded back in the 70s. They were one of the pioneering country rock bands, which back in the 70s, country rock was okay. But I mean, it just had some cool chords. And I'm out of tune. It was that Stray Cats thing. You play Stray Cats, you go out of tune. But, let's see. Indian summer, it's on its way. Cool at night, hot all day. Ain't no black cloud filled with rain. I forgot the words there, but it had some cool chords here. That was one of the songs when I was first, like I say, back in the early 80s, I was starting to try to write songs myself instead of just singing everybody else's stuff. That was one of the first songs, that along with Little Wild One by Marshall Crenshaw. Mm-hmm. And, well, a lot of Crenshaw's things. Those were songs that I really noticed that you could add more than just your standard 3 chords and really bring a song to life. Mm-hmm. Just by throwing in, instead of just staying in the C all the time, take it down to the C major 7. And I think, man, that just really sounds cool. And it really adds to the, which that recording, Indian Summer, is very atmospheric thing anyway.